eNCA has been following up on the infrastructure woes at the Job Rathebe Junior Secondary School in Soweto. Earlier this week, we returned to assess the progress on fixing a dilapidated infrastructure after 1.9 million rand was spent on repairs. What did we find? Little, if any, change. The school was thrust into the spotlight following protests by parents in July who wanted the principal removed. They claimed he is chronically absent and last attended school in March last year. Following our coverage on Wednesday, the Education Department called us back to see what's happened since our first report on this school. Now, eNCA senior reporter Aviwe Mtila gladly accepted the invitation, and this is what he found.
The state of the only 2 working toilets available to pupils when we followed up on promises made in July to fix such infrastructure woes within 14 days. Friday, after our coverage, not much had changed in those same toilets. The Gauteng Education Department called us back to show us toilets that had been locked on our Wednesday visit. This to show that work is finally underway to fix them.
The toilets that you went to, they were not in the scope of work that was accommodated at that time. So they had identified those toilets to say, let's not use this block, lock it, and then use the ones that will be fixed. So you were shown toilets that are not utilized.
But those are the ones that were actually being used. We were here with some of the staff saying that those are the only 2 toilets that are being used. Students were using them. In fact, we had to stop some of them coming in for the interviews. These toilets were actually locked at that time.
No. These toilets were locked because, like as I've already indicated to you, there were leakages here. So you couldn't bring learners in here. But then we've instructed the plumber to say, come back, fix all the leakages and make sure that all those that have been vandalized, they must all those toilets be fixed.
A member of parliament tasked with conducting oversight visits to the area has expressed shock.
I'm becoming lost for words, Aviwe. These are the toilets that we were at on Wednesday, and we hear that work has happened since Wednesday, and these are the operational toilets, the only toilets that the boys are having available to them to use. And as you can see, the state in which they are leaking. In fact, they are worse off than they were on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we didn't have any leakages. So this is completely unacceptable, and we're shown a front of toilets that have never been complete. The work has never been completed since July.
Another July promise was to give feedback on the principal's alleged chronic absenteeism. She's believed to have been on sick leave since March 2021.
As soon as we have the principal back, we should be in a position to then update you on what is it that we have done. If our HR officials, they are in constant liaison with the employee to see how far are you, when are you coming, and if there are any other process that they need to implement, human resource will then have to do that.
What does human resource say about the number of days you're supposed to be absent?
No, but I can't. You say now you want me to go to the confidential part of the principal and which...
No, it's just labor laws. What does HR say about the number of days you're supposed to be absent, Rusty?
No, but if you are absent, remember there's other remedies on if you are sick. What is it that there are processes which will make sure that you are still at home. Meanwhile, at some point you need to be coming back to work.
Absolutely a poor attempt at trying to spin the situation. The principal at the school hasn't been around since 2021. So it's over a year and about 8 months that she hasn't been around. And there are certain labor laws that actually help and assist to govern such situations where you get allocated a certain number of days to be ill, and when you exceed those, there are certain processes that the department itself, not the employee, the department has to put in place to ensure that they look at whether you need to be medically boarded, etc., etc.
Kumalo says while there's been an acting principal in place, there's been a complete lack of leadership. Aviwe Mtila, Soweto, Johannesburg.